This is the first introduction shiur into the topic of Ben Soror More. This is shiur number 1. The Torah says in Parshas Kitetse, which is in Sefer Devarim, Perek Chaf, Pasuk Yirches, says, Ki yiyeh leish ben sorer umore. If a person, a man, has a son who is a sorer umore, we'll define those words soon. Inenu shomeya bikol aviv ubikol imo. And he does not listen to the kol, the voice of his father, or the voice of his mother. V'yisru oso v'lo yishma alehem. And he goes away from them. He does not stick to the path that they set for him. V'lo yishma alehem. And he does not listen to them. Rashi over there says by the word soror, Dibur HaMaskil soror. Soror means sar min haderech. He veers off from the proper derech. The word more, Rashi says, misarev b'divrei aviv, loshon memorim. It's a type of rebelliousness. V'yisru oso, and says Rashi, v'yisru oso, matirin bo bifnei shlosha umalkin oso. He was warned in front of 3 people, and they gave him makos. Continues Rashi, Ben Soror Umore Eino Chayev Ad Sheyigno V'Yochol Tarteim Arbasar V'Yishteh Chatzilu Yayin. Ben Soror Umore, this boy is not Chayev, does not become obligated until he eats a certain amount of wine and basar and meat, which we'll see soon. And finally, Rashi says, if we skip down a little bit, Ben Soror Umore Nerag Al Shem Sofo. Ben Soror Umore, this person is killed on what's going to happen. Higia Torah l'sov daito. The Torah sees what is going to eventually happen with this boy. Sof shemikalem mamon aviv umevakesh limudo ve'eno motzi. Eventually, he's just going to steal all of his father's money. Ve'omedis beparshas derachim umilastem esabrios. And he's going to become a robber, a thief. So Amra Torah Yomos Zakai Al Yomos Chayev. Says the Torah, it's better for this kid to die before he commits all these terrible averos than to die once he already committed these averos. So basically, what you have here is you have this little kid. Now, how old this kid has to be, we'll discuss what the minimum age is and what the maximum age is. And he has a father, and he has a mother, and this kid does not want to hear anything that his father and mother tell him, and he shows very, very early signs of rebelliousness, and he goes against what his parents tell him to do, and we'll discuss exactly the details as to what he is doing and what he has to do in order to get this strict punishment. One of the fascinating points that Rashi made is that Rashi says that this kid is judged based on what he's going to be. What he's going to be, not necessarily what he is right now. Meaning, right now he has not committed any avera that would require him to be put to death. And yet we judge this boy so harshly, and we actually put him to death if we find him guilty of being an actual Ben Soror More. Question that I want everybody to think about is, how is it possible that the Torah requires us to put somebody to death even though at this point in his life he didn't even do anything that requires him to be chayav misa? How is it possible that we take away that potential for tshuva? How is it possible that we judge him on what we think he's going to be and not actually what he is right now? Torah continues in Pasuk Yites, V'tafsu bo aviv v'imo, and his parents take him, V'hotzio oso el ziknei iro ve'el shar mekomo, and they take him and they basically drag him from his house, and they bring him all the way over to Beis Din. When they get to Beis Din, the Torah continues, "V'amru el ziknei iro," and they say to the people in Beis Din, they say to the people, the elderly people that are judging this case, "Beinenu, our son, zeh sorer umora, he is a sorer umora, inenu shomea bekolenu, he does not listen to us, zolel v'sove." He stuffs his face with food, and he continuously drinks until he gets drunk. So basically what the parents are saying to the elders of the city, the Chachamim, they're saying that we've tried whatever we could. We've disciplined him as many times as we possibly could have, and no matter what we do, no matter what we try, he doesn't stop. He doesn't stop eating. He doesn't stop drinking. He never listens to what we say, and there's nothing left for us to do. So the Beis Din, or the Chachamim that listen to the case, they come around, they gather together, they discuss all the details, and they decide amongst themselves whether this person, whether this child is in fact a ben soror umora. And if they decide that this child is guilty of being a ben soror umora, then the pasuk continues, "Urgamuhu kol anshe iro ba'avonim." All of the people of the city, they basically pelt him with stones. V'meit, and he dies. Ubiarta hara mikirbecha, and they get rid of this evil, this bad child from within their city, from within their whole system. V'kol Yisrael yishmeu v'yiro, and everybody stands around and they watch this happening. They watch this child being pelted with stones, being put to death, and they watch, and a certain level of fear, of yira, comes over them, and they see what happens to this child, and they make sure it doesn't happen again in the future.